you thrifty bards and bardettes. Welcome back to iCast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
I'm Matt. And I was really tempted to do the SSX tricky no,
it's not SSX.
That's what reminds me of that song. Mm-hmm. Because that song opened SSX Tricky, the snowboarding game for the PlayStation 2 that I played. It was, by the way, it was really fun. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I heard the SSX games were, for the most part, really good. So I'll have to check them out sometime.
Yeah. But they would always start with the, it's trick to Rocco, rush right on top, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So tell us of your recent excursion to the place known as Aldi.
Oh yeah, Aldi.
Aldi's. Okay. Anyway, we got that one out of the way. In the comments, guys, please go wild. That's fine. All right. Anyway,
say whatever you want about Aldi.
Yeah.
Especially what they have in their snack section. They have nuts. They have like trail mix and
what brand? Do they have like an Aldi brand one?
Oh, of course they do.
Like Aldi brand.
Aldi,
like Aldi. Like all these. Like.
Yes.
Like all these. Like all these pistachios or whatever.
Yeah,
like all these pecans. All these almonds.
Yeah. Okay.
All these mixed nuts.
Potentially.
All right.
They have trail mix. Yeah. It's never my first choice, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. No, we were talking about this earlier, and I wanted you to try to convince me that Aldi was a place where I should go, but I guess that's not going to happen.
I don't know. I mean, right. I see what you're saying. I don't love it there. I'll probably shop there more now because I don't know what weirded me out about it before. Mm-hmm. Is that you have to put like it has the carts where like you have to like put a quarter in, and then you get the quarter back when you put it back, right? Like like that, like but like who carries around a quarter just to do that? Like
Aldi shoppers,
you're gonna have to carry. That's a lot of commitment,
right?
You're gonna have to have an Aldi quarter,
right?
That you keep in your car,
right,
at all times.
I already feel like I'm married again.
You already feel like you're married again?
Yeah, again, to Aldi.
To Aldi. Right. Oh. That's so much commitment.
Exactly.
And then they don't even have bags. Like they don't even have the option for you to like buy a bag.
Which is fine with me because
me too.
I use IKEA.
You have IKEA bags here?
Yeah. I
have Wegmans bags that I always use when I go grocery shopping if I remember them.
I thought there was one like right here, but it's not.
Which I never do.
Anyway, so the IKEA bags, we use the ones that, like they sell ones that are like what you have in the store. So they're like big bags.
Big bags. They're big.
So we
bags.
come home with 2 or 3 of those from Walmart, and then we're like good for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But all right. So the cereal at Aldi.
Yeah.
Aldi.
Yeah. Okay, that's another thing. Everybody wants to call it Aldi's.
Yeah.
Like I do too.
That usually doesn't happen to me. I don't know what happened there.
But
My
it's
brain's
Aldi. It's just Aldi.
Yeah. The cereal, is it the same quality?
Yes.
Same stuff?
100%.
All right. So of course it is. Yeah.
It's the same exact stuff. Although,
that's what we were really wondering.
Yes. I got the cereal from Aldi and it tastes exactly the same as the cereal from everywhere else. It is kind of weird. It's like a really small store, at least the one around here. I don't know if they have big Aldi. Like, I don't think that if there's any Aldi that's like big.
Yeah, maybe not.
But it's interesting because everything there is really cheap, like really cheap. But the people that shop there don't seem to be the kind of people you would expect to shop at a place that's really cheap.
Well, there's that. But so the last time I was there, everything was like so close to expiring. Is that why it's cheap? Is that what the deal is?
Oh, is that? I don't know.
I think so.
I didn't even pay attention.
It's one of those places where it's like this stuff's about to go bad anyway, so here we'll slap on a cheaper sticker and sell it at this store now.
I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. The quality of the actual food there didn't seem to be that bad. It didn't seem to be bad at all, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what it is about the place. I don't particularly love it in there. I don't particularly dislike it in there either. I would shop there. Probably the best thing it has going for it is that it is the closest store to here that isn't Giant Eagle. Which not gonna hate on Giant Eagle or anything. I just don't particularly like the one that's here. The one, you know what though, I will say the Giant Eagle that is on like the east side.
Oh, that one's good.
That one's a great Giant Eagle.
That is the only place that stocks my shampoo.
Really?
Yeah. And like you can buy it on Amazon.
Right.
But it actually costs twice as much.
On Amazon?
Yeah.
Than at Giant Eagle.
Yeah. Wow, and sometimes it's even on sale at Giant Eagle. What the flip? Nice. Or maybe the last time I went there, they might not have had it anymore. My shampoo's like gone. It's gone. I have to use a different one now. Yeah. And like everything's wrong with the world. And like,
you have to change your whole perspective on life and the universe.
All right. But so here's my problem with Aldi.
I'm sure you have one.
I can't be bothered with it. Like I already go to I go to Walmart to shop. And that's where I buy all my stuff. I can't like also check the price at Aldi and also check the price at Wegmans and check the price at Giant. No, like I'll go to Wegmans to get imported olive oil because something is wrong with me.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. No, I tried the cheap stuff at Walmart.
Olive oil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After trying not even imported, but like literally I took it back from Rome with me to here, and it's a different food. It's not the same thing. One of them is not olive oil. I don't know what you want to call the other one. Like maybe the one from Italy we just call it olio and just leave it in Italian, and then the olive oil is what you don't want, and you do want olio.
Yeah.
And like that's what you're after, because oh my god, it's not even close. Like I would almost drink the stuff that's imported.
Yeah.
The other stuff, I don't want it touching my food, please.
No, thank you.
It just tastes like bad. It tastes like sour and bad. It's not good. The other stuff is crazy different, and you'd be surprised at how much it changes stuff that you cook when you don't use any other spices. Because like I'll just make eggs with, like I'll put some olive oil down, throw in the eggs, and that's it. Because I like the natural flavors of things. I don't know. Yeah. I don't always need spices. All right, but then what you cook it on makes a huge difference. Buttered eggs compared to olive oil eggs, different foods. You can't even compare them. No, they're actually more similar than the two types of olive oil. But listen, other than stuff like specialty stuff like that, I'm not going to multiple places. I guess I'm a spoiled brat kid who like just can't handle really shopping for stuff. But I also don't have time for that. I don't even have time to go to Walmart. I pick up my groceries there. I like have them do it. And it still takes a while, but it's less time.
Right.
You know, like it's less than the couple of hours that we would have to spend walking through the store. It's actually not significantly less time. The biggest part is like planning out our meals and stuff for the week and seeing what we need. But that's going to be the biggest part no matter what. So.
Right. I like going to Wegmans, but it's just so much further away. Both of them. We have two in this town, and both of them. You know, like Carly didn't know that we had one on the west side. She didn't know that there was one over there.
Oh, I guess she lived on the other side of town
her
whole life.
She always lived on the east side.
She has an excuse.
Yeah, she has.
I was gonna say it was because she was a sorcerer. She plays a sorcerer. So
well, I just find that fascinating. It could because that's the one I always went to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, that's the main Wegmans in the world.
Right. That's the Wegmans.
Yeah. Like pretty much I thought that's the headquarters. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about this?
If I said I'm going to Wegmans, that's the one I mean.
Yeah.
And then if I'm going to the other one, I'll say I'm going to the Wegmans on Peach Street.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. Yeah. That's me too.
Cool.
So do you mean the same Walmart as I do then as well? West Side?
The West Side one?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I usually go to.
It's the best one in town. The Edinburgh one originally was the best one. When it was a super Walmart and everything else was a regular one. Or Walmart Supercenter, I guess.
Yeah.
Not super Walmart. That's
Super Target.
Super Target. Is that the one?
I don't know.
What's the Kmart called? Big K.
Big K.
Did you know Kmart's still kicking in Australia?
Oh, in Australia, really?
Yeah. They're just still around. They're just fine.
They're dead in the US.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they exist anymore in the US.
There might be one or two more Kmart's still because those things take a while sometimes. But anyway,
right.
So I wanted to talk about shopping.
Shopping
in D&D.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because real life shopping
is as boring as the first 10 minutes of this episode have been.
It's only been 11. No, but
it's about to be more interesting, I think.
I hope so. I hope we can rescue shopping in D&D.
So some people hate it.
I'm a person,
yeah,
real life Austin here, not in game Austin, who does not get any satisfaction out of spending money. I just don't enjoy it. I wish I could just keep it all.
Okay.
Or something.
Right.
Like it just does not make me feel good to shop. But also real life Austin, I will walk through all of the aisles of a Walmart. All of them. For fun.
Just
to like hang out and see what's there and be like, all right, that's interesting. I like the idea that somebody could buy any of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's just, there's so much potential.
There's so much potential.
There's so much, and I like the feeling of potential. I do. Okay. I don't know what it means that I like that. It's weird. That's a super weird thing. All right.
You ever look at something and the shelf seems pretty full and you're like thinking that nobody buys it and you're like, I hope somebody buys you.
No, not really. It's not exactly that. It's more like, it's more like I feel I'm sure somebody will buy that.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily true. I don't know.
Right.
Walking through the food part of the Walmart where I go to, I can safely say that, yes, someone will buy that because they're just like the shelves are just half empty sometimes.
Oh, the food? Yeah. People will buy food.
All the time.
Always.
And every conceivable weird, like all sorts of food that I have never thought to pick up off the shelf. Someone else is like, that's my favorite snack.
Yep. Just get the cheese poofs.
Mm-hmm.
There's cheese poofs behind me.
Now that's actually, let's start with that.
Okay.
For D&D.
Okay. What are the cheese poofs of D&D?
Yeah. You've got to make it so the shops have stuff that is not just targeted at your players, first of all.
Right.
But it's all got to be good. And like basically, when your players go to buy stuff, I think it's a good idea. And it's a fun thing to make it so they have to pass up some opportunities.
Okay.
Right? Like they can't just afford to buy everything at the shop.
Right.
Like they walk in and a lot of the stuff is interesting, but they can only get some. I think that's part of it.
Okay.
I think we're blowing this thing wide open right now.
Yeah. Well, when I made the one shop that you guys have been in so far.
The magic shop.
Magic shop. The one magical shop that you guys have been in so far.
Right.
I tried to do that. I tried to fill it with so many things you guys couldn't possibly buy. Even you guys probably couldn't have been able to buy even 3 of them.
Right.
Of the like 20 things that I mentioned.
Yeah. Well, the issue there was that I didn't know what I would want or need yet.
That's true.
That's part of it. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That type of issue. But yeah, I do think it was good that it was that way. Like there was cool, useful stuff in there.
Yeah.
And that makes the experience of shopping have that feeling of like, oh, there's so much potential. There's so much room for activities. That kind of thing. Now, the other thing is that part of it is the way that you present shopping experiences to the players. And I don't mean you specific, I mean you general right now. I'm talking to you and me and everybody.
Everybody. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, well, it's hard to make it engaging, I think. Right?
Shopping?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think there are people who like shopping.
Yeah. But like the hard part is, all right, I turn and walk down this aisle. What do I see? And then you can describe an entire aisle full of stuff, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's having somebody explain to you what you're seeing as you walk through the aisles of Walmart is not gonna be a good experience.
Okay, that's like an inflatable inner tube. And then next to that, it's like a skimboard, but like
yeah, I think one of to me the toughest thing is conveying exactly what's there to somebody, because that takes a bunch of real time and it's impossible to remember all of it well enough to make a decision about buying something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other tough part, is that like when there's enough stuff that it's actually fun to pick something out, and it's not just like, oh, well, there's only one thing, I guess I'll buy that and walk around with my other 6,000 gold. Like I guess I'll just buy out every shop I go into, like I do in late game Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Just got to buy all those arrows so I can kill more Lionels, so I can buy more arrows.
Just gonna collect some bunch of meat so I could throw a bunch of meat in the pot and make a giant meat platter that I can then sell for hundreds of rupees, that I can then go out and get arrows and get more meat to sell for more rupees.
There you are. All right. So like, what was I saying?
You were saying that there can't be too many things.
Oh,
but
right.
Also not enough things.
Well, no, you do need to have enough things so that you can't just buy out all the shops.
Right.
But when you have too many things, it makes it impossible to make a decision, not because of the normal, like, what's that? Whatever that thing is that makes it hard to make decisions.
Yeah. Too many choices.
Yeah. When people have a lot of choices, the
Subway cheese thing.
You know what? Maybe this is why people have trouble with it. Maybe I'm about to explain the reason for that effect.
Explain away.
Your working memory can only hold so many things. And the common figure I hear is 7 things plus or minus 2. 7 pieces of information, 7 bits of data. I don't know in what way they're broken up, and it's different depending on how you chunk things, as far as I know. And there's debate, I think, about whether or not that's true, but there seems to be a limitation in working memory anyway, regardless of the accuracy of the exact numbers.
Sure.
Well, you can't fit a list of 100 magical items in your working memory. You can't do it.
No.
You can barely fit a list of 10 magical items in your working memory. And then when you go to buy something, you'll be like, here's what I know. I know that there are these 5 items, and with the other part of my working memory, I know that there are 10 times that many items that I'm not thinking about right now, and I can't remember what they are. So maybe I won't make a decision this time.
Well, doesn't that make it easy? Because the things you can't remember probably are things that you didn't want in the first place.
You would think that makes it easy, but It does not. Because I think people want to fully consider things. They want, because later on your party members are going to make fun of you for the stupid thing you bought when you could have bought this other thing.
Yeah, like the ring of fire resistance.
Right. Wait, did somebody buy that?
It's a critical role.
Oh,
it's a critical role joke. Ford spent way too much money on a ring of fire resistance that was marginally useful in the end, but mostly was not at all useful.
Yeah, they did spend a lot of time in ice in that campaign, I noticed.
They sure did. They did have to cross a river of lava once.
But that probably wasn't enough to do it, was it? I don't know.
And no, not to be able to cross the river on its own. But also the BBG at the end had an attack that was fire something.
Okay. Well, that's
one of his 8 attacks or something like that.
Great.
Had fire involved.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens, I guess.
Okay, so
yeah, but basically, yeah, your party will make fun of you later for the stupid thing that you bought when you could have bought something else that you weren't thinking about because it wasn't in the right part of your working memory. And now, oh no, you can't buy anything because that was the 7th piece of data in your working memory, the doubt.
Wow, you really went off on that one.
Yeah, that's just, what I think.
I want to say that you are thinking about this too much.
What do you mean?
I think you're thinking about it too much. I don't know.
How can I not think about it this much? I'm very confused right now.
I think that
I'm barely thinking.
I think that you're complicating this in a way that it doesn't have to be that complicated.
No, all I'm saying is print out a list and hand it to everybody, and then
that's what I was going to say.
That solves this problem. Yeah, that solves the problem completely. I just wanted to talk about the problem a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I was having a good time.
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you're going on this diatribe about how...
I just think that's what causes the problem of choice is that you can't, like, your brain is like, I'm forgetting something. I can't hold all of this in here. But I do need to process every single one of these, or else if I make the wrong choice, I will be killed later.
I don't think that's the only problem because
maybe not.
Because I think that people don't like shopping in D&D because
it's not the only problem in D&D. Yeah, no, keep going.
In D&D, I think people don't like shopping because it's like, let's just get on with it to the next thing. Like to them, it's like exposition.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Worse than exposition. It's completely unrelated. In most cases to what's going on.
Right.
In that instance, I think it's helpful to make the shopkeepers interesting.
Right. Yeah.
In some way.
Interesting and maybe even involved.
Right. Interesting and or involved in what's going on.
Right.
In some way. Yes.
And the other thing is though, I guess handing everybody a list so they can kind of like look it over and be like, all right, I think I'm going to buy this. That actually kind of solves that problem as well, because there's less time like describing things. You can answer a couple questions, but then like that's the shopping experience. We did it, that kind of thing. We should write up some lists of items for shops sometime.
Okay.
I just feel like it's a good idea.
Okay.
What are we going to do with that? I don't know, but
we're going to turn it into a supplement that we're going to publish on October 12th of this year.
That's right. That'll be part of our supplement. By the way, our supplement is called Dungeons and Dragons with a B, 6th edition.
Subtitle, What's in Your Shop?
So it's not Dungeons and Dragons with a D. It's Dungeons and Dragons with the B for, like copyright reasons.
Right.
But it is the official 6th edition version
of that.
Of all of it.
of all of it.
It is the official source book for Dungeons and Dragons 6th edition. but we just don't we can't call it that.
We didn't get permission we called Wizards of the Coast, but they didn't return any of our phone calls.
We should call them on the podcast sometime.
No.
Well, we should call them and ask if they'll be on our podcast. On the podcast.
On the podcast, we should ask if they'll be on our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see why not.
Will you be on our podcast sometime? Sure.
Yes.
Wait, what about this time?
All right. Well, is that all you wanted to say about shopping?
No. I think we can keep going.
Oh, okay.
What are other ways to make it fun? Or did you want to move on to another topic? It's fine if you do. But
I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say about it. About shopping.
Well, maybe this is shopping and side quests and everything in general. Like,
okay,
how do you get the people who are only driven to move forward in the story to enjoy those other parts of the experience if you want that to be enjoyable for them? Like, it's going to happen. Because you could just give the characters items and just move forward in the story. I feel like there's a problem with that. And that is that it doesn't take advantage of one of the primary advantages of tabletop role playing, which is that you can exercise executive function. Do you know about executive function? Do you know what this is? This is when you decide how to do something, then you do it.
Okay.
Like planning and executing on. It's as basic as I just made it sound. It's a basic, normal human function, and plenty of people have executive dysfunction.
They can't plan or they can't execute.
Both.
Oh, they can't plan or execute.
They can not plan and therefore will not execute because they can't.
Okay.
You need the plan first.
So they feel like they need the plan, but they can't do the plan.
They do need it. You need a plan when you're going to execute an action. Like, I'm going to make dinner. First, I need to get out the ingredients. What ingredients do I need? I need to get out the eggs. I need to get out the olive oil. I need to get out the vegetables.
That's all you know. No, you named the only two things that you need.
I mean, that's all I need.
The eggs and the olive oil.
All right. But there are people with, partial or severe executive dysfunction who, like, the thought that all they can think is, I need to make dinner. But they cannot break it down into steps.
Okay.
And therefore can't do it. Because when they go to be like, all right, I got to make dinner, the people with really good executive function are not going to understand this maybe. I don't know if I have great executive function. It's also a problem with things like ADHD and stuff like that.
Right.
Where at least sometimes you won't be able to do this.
Right.
And it just leads to inaction. The people with poor executive function sometimes look lazy or stuff like that.
Yes.
Right. So, and it's just because they, need to be able to break it down, but can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
But only in certain circumstances. Like that doesn't happen all the time.
It happens on anything that isn't broken down for them. You can tell them all the steps and they will do it. So, depending on, like, and technically you can get through life that way. Like just listening to what people tell you to do, even stuff like going to college and getting a job and all that kind of stuff. If you just listen to somebody tell you what to do and you just do what they said, and eventually you make it through life, whatever that means. I mean, it affects everything. Like your executive function's a fairly general thing. And then there are just the autonomous things or automatic, things that are like fully baked in, like the ability to brush your teeth. After you've been told enough times, you get it. Like you just do it the same way every time. That kind of stuff, like driving or things, that's all fine. But yeah, like seriously, it affects everything. And what people have found is that people who play a lot of certain types of video games end up with slightly worse. I don't know if slightly is actually the right word. I will just say worse, but I don't want to sound like it's too crazy or anything because I don't know the severity, but worse executive function.
Really?
And yeah.
Like what kind of video games?
Ones that tell you what to do next, which is a lot of
most
types.
of them.
It is most of them.
Yeah.
Notable exceptions would be things like Breath of the Wild tells you what to do next, but if you ignore it, that type of open world game. If you don't ignore it though, then yeah, there you go. Minecraft is a notable exception. Any type of like sandboxy game is gonna be like that. But a lot of them, and it might be because it might not be because you play video games poor executive function. It might be poor executive function. You enjoy doing this thing that tells you what to do every step of the way and executing on it very well. And that's the fun part for you. But I think D&D lets people exercise their executive function. Right? Like I think it's a real skill that you can take out of the game. I think it's an actual like straight up benefit of playing D&D that you can't get in a lot of other places because it's a controlled environment. Whereas making actual life decisions to exercise your executive function, that could go bad. You could cause problems in your life for real. But in D&D, it's a little different. And I think that shopping is an excellent place to practice that. Because shopping is, I'm preparing for what I think we need to do next, what's going to be coming up. What things am I going to run into? What do I need to have so that when I do run into those things, my character survives? I think it's a good place for that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I thought it would be cool to talk about and, add to our supplement that we're publishing October 12th.
Yeah.
Back it on Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
Yeah. And it just so happens to double as a research paper for our academic research.
That's right. I took Psychology 101 in college.
101. I actually minored in psychology.
Oh, shoot. No, I didn't. I took Psych 100. My bad.
I minored in psych. Actually, one of my classes was psychology of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, we didn't talk about that at all. But that would be a great thing to talk about.
It's not usually
tangential.
It's not in the wheelhouse of psychology because I like my favorite part of psychology is positive psychology and trying to learn from that sort of whose brains are getting this right and how do we copy that. That's kind of my interest in psychology mostly.
Okay,
but psychology of video games is interesting to me as well, or games in general.
It's the only notebook of notes that I still have from college. The only one that I kept after Marie Kondoing a few times.
Yeah.
It's the only one that made it.
Yep. I kept a couple of my textbooks because they're pretty and I like them.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, maybe not a couple. Yeah, two or three. I have my operating systems book, which I never used for that class. But it's such a nice textbook that I just like it. I'll just look at it and be like, man, I never learned this.
I didn't learn any of this stuff, but here it is.
Dang, if that book's not pretty. Check her out.
That's a nice look.
Look at those.
I keep her
book
around.
thighs.
I keep her around because she's pretty. Oh boy. Cool. Nice to not talk about the value of the information.
It's approximately $80 worth.
That's not as high as it could have been.
Nope, it's a small book.
Okay.
Smallish. Small for a textbook.
I think of operating systems And I think there's no way that it's not like full textbook size.
Yeah, it's smaller than the monster manual over there.
Wow.
It's like one of the short textbooks, like,
Yeah.
like a psychology book.
Oh. My Psych 101 books was the size of a novel. Like literally not very big at all. I'm not talking George R.R. Martin either. I'm talking like.
Are you talking like
Cold Sassy Tree? I was at a bookshop the other day and I saw that. You remember reading that?
What was it?
Cold Sassy Tree. In grade school, we had to read that. No, I had to read that for a high school.
Yeah, I think
I had to read that for high school. It was part of summer reading.
Okay, regale me with this tale.
Cold Sassy Tree.
Lay it on me. What's this thing about?
Don't remember. I remember two things about it.
All right.
I remember there was this is a general thing. Old guy. The two things about the old guy. The book wasn't about the old guy, but he's the only person that I can remember because of two things. Number one, somebody was trying to rob his shop and he shot a bullet at their foot, and the bullet spun in place, was like caught and spun in place at their shoe. And I remember thinking, that's not how bullets work. That a bullet would not stop at a shoe and spin in place. That's like some anime stuff. That's literally something that would happen in an anime. This is fiction, but it's realistic fiction. I thought that was super weird. And then at the end, spoilers for Cold Sassy Tree. The old man dies, and in his will, he's like, I want you guys to have a huge party. Don't be sad about my death. There's got to be a parade and a giant party when I die.
What's the tree
Make
about?
it happen.
I don't even care, actually.
There's no tree. There's no tree. There's no tree. I swear the title is literally just.
So people will be like, clickbait. What is this?
Yeah, it's got a clickbait title.
I guess I figured out a title for this episode.
Cold Sassy Tree.
I'm going to name it Cold Sassy Tree 2.
Revengeance. Cold Sassy Tree 2 Revengeance.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's not clickbait at all.
No. I think that is click repellent right there. That's people straight up like,
nah, none of that.
Everyone else who read that in high school would be like, nope, I know I don't need this video.
Not on my list. Not on my list of.
Nope, especially not if I have to take a test on it.
I have one short topic I would like to explore.
Go for it.
Well, I guess we'll see. But you brought up, so we took a gander through the Art and Arcana book that we have on display over here. Before we recorded this episode,
right?
Which is the same day we recorded the last episode, by the way. So anyway,
and it's going well. This is our best double recording yet.
Yes, you know what? Absolutely. We've only done this a handful of times, but this is the best one so far.
Yeah.
Austin mentioned that we should look through it. Now, I don't know, something about the connections in my brain. I got some synapses firing, and I was like, this is something you could think about too. When you're the DM, how do you decide what kinds of creatures the party is going to run into? Like sometimes you use random tables, maybe. Sometimes you maybe thought of it ahead of time. Some encounters you figure you better sprinkle in there just because things are getting boring. But sometimes encounters were supposed to happen. Sometimes encounters were supposed to happen, but then the party
get circumvented,
did something weird and got around it somehow, and you weren't planning on that happening. But so how do you? But like, what do you do when you plan those things?
All right. So the first thing that I start with is I try to figure out like what's the function of this creature.
Yeah,
Or
conjunction, junction.
let's say, what's the function of this encounter? Do I want this to put them on their toes?
Yeah.
Right? Like, do I want this to be like a wake up call? Do I want this encounter to cause the party to be under great stress? Do I want to try to really, you know, like really hurt them? Do I want this encounter to be one where the goal is not combat oriented, though combat is a way to achieve that goal? Um, because why I'm considering that is then I know if I should be trying to find creatures, because then I go looking for creatures, right? Like that's what
Sure.
I'm going to do. But I need to know if the creatures should be um, sort of like how intelligent they should be,
Right.
whether or not they should be working together, whether or not they should be related to other things that the characters are running into. I like for the campaign I'm running for Peter.
Mm-hmm.
He's run into a bunch of undead creatures. Oh, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler for him. Sort of, not really. Some undead creatures near his home.
Mm-hmm.
He's left there, and then the first thing he ran into was a dinosaur.
Oh.
Like the first encounter after that. He's midway through that fight. Hopefully he survives. It's not looking good.
Uh-oh.
Technically, it was it was an ankylosaurus.
Okay.
He just beat a Dybbuk.
Oh, you guys fought one of those?
Yeah, because I found out they live in the desert, and that like fit the setting.
Uh-huh.
And it also worked with the setup I was going for with the creature, which was a creature which was ambushing trade routes and killing a bunch of people, and they would just never come. They'd never get back. But then people would, it was a nice thing because the Dybbuk, like
Dybbuk.
Dybbuk.
Yeah, Dybbuk is.
Why
right.
is there a U in it? Anyway, so they'll possess bodies and like just try to horrify you and kill you and stuff like that.
Yep. You guys fought one.
So it was good because he had already been dealing with sort of zombies and things like that. And there were zombie dwarves, if you must know.
Oh.
Because he's playing a dwarf. But he was dealing with these zombies in a vision or a dream. I don't know which one it actually is yet. Like we're not that far.
Okay.
But then like he actually had to fight an undead creature. Or at least it like outwardly it seemed that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty cool like way to take it from one environment where like that's your wake up call, but literally it just wakes up your character if you die. And then you know your abilities now, you can fight these things, but here's a challenge now. This one's a tough one. So that's kind of how I think of it. Like, am I stepping up the challenge in incrementally? Am I allowing them to use skills that they've built in past challenges, but then kind of mixing it up with other ways for them to, or like, yeah, you can still use your awesome combo of like hex and some other, stuff like that. But now this time there is somebody trying to pull a similar combo on you. It'd be really great if you could figure out which one of them it was, but maybe it'll be tough, that kind of thing. Or even just like, you'll have to take these steps in order to do that combo now. But now, once you get to there, then you're good again.
Yeah. Throws a little monkey wrench into things.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit more interesting.
Right. And then part of it is setting, like,
right.
Dybbuk in the desert, or now he's in a tropical forest, basically, and he ran into an ankylosaurus. And that felt right to me.
Yeah.
Because where else are you going to run into one?
Exactly. So
actually, it ran into him.
I think that touches on a lot. Like I was thinking of three things when I make an encounter.
Right. And these will all be in our book, by the way.
Yes.
God, I hope. Oh my God. All right. So if we have to write a book, I will do it. I actually would gladly do that. That's cool. I like the idea.
It's cool and fun.
I don't think I have the perspective and experience to do that yet.
No, I definitely don't.
But oh my God, please don't make it be due by October 12th.
That's too
I can't do
soon.
that.
I've got too many things to do before then.
It's already July.
Yeah.
It's not happening, guys.
No, I mean,
please let me push it back to November.
A wedding and not my wedding, but a wedding.
Whose?
I don't remember. Somebody I know. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a wedding in November.
I think I'm in it or something.
That'll mess with this too. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Anyway.
And you know what? I'm going to be potentially gone for 2 weeks. I don't know when, but potentially I'm going to be gone for at least 2 weeks.
Right. I'll be gone for a week.
And then I'll be gone for
going on a surfing trip.
Another weekend. In September. Jeez, so much stuff going on.
I like that I can call it a surfing trip now. It's a family vacation. But I just happen to be, I will be surfing.
You will be surfing.
And now I sound like I'm a serious surfer.
I'm going on a surfing trip. Yeah.
Yes. This will be my 2nd through 6th experiences surfing. I'll be doing 5 days, I believe.
And they will comprise 2 through 6 of my experience surfing.
Yes.
I am an expert, you would say.
I'm a very passionate surfer. And I always have been. I always have been since I was a child. I think we've all kind of known. We've all kind of like, maybe it hasn't been obvious on the surface, but like down in there.
3 things.
Yes, please.
for when I think of an encounter. And which one I think of first really just depends. It really just depends. But the one thing I think of is the setting tone of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mummy Lord that you guys just didn't fight, but could have, but didn't. You didn't have to. You got what you needed, so it was fine. But the Mummy Lord was in a pyramid. Ho! The environment around you was hot, though not quite a desert.
I was picturing it as desert.
No. It was thick forest.
Is there any part of it that was desert, or is it all thick forest?
No part of it was desert.
Okay, because I thought we went desert town with some trees to desert to some forest where we currently are.
Nope, no desert.
I see.
There is no desert there. I was thinking,
Is there in Auxerre? Is there a desert?
When I generated the map, I'm going to make my own next time, just from scratch. I'm just going to draw my own. I didn't this time because I thought I would be bad at drawing it, and I'm not good.
But now we read Art and Arcana, and it turns out it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm realizing that it doesn't matter how good you are at art. You don't have to draw a perfectly artistic map.
No.
So I generated one, but it was like pulling teeth to get a desert in there. Like I randomly generated a few maps, and almost none of them had a desert in it already. But I wanted a desert. I wanted at least one desert somewhere because I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to make one myself, but I only had time to make one.
Oh.
Well, I could have made another one, but I had to spend time on other stuff too.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So I didn't want to spend a ton of time on it. So there's only one desert in the entire world. And it's on the other side of the world right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I was thinking more in terms of like South American civilizations that have pyramids. They're more like ziggurats or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the inspiration for the area. So yeah, mummy in a pyramid.
Is that my dog?
I don't know. It was a dog.
All right. Well, anyway, mummies in a pyramid. All right.
2 is what creatures have stuff that would make for an interesting dynamic with what the party can do.
Mm-hmm.
So the players have these abilities. Wouldn't it be cool to have a monster fight them that can counter one of them?
Right.
Or that one of them doesn't work on.
Right.
So that they have to think of new tricks.
Yeah. The idea, I think, is to get them working together.
Yes.
Right. Like, all right, my ability on its own can't take down one of these things, but if I use this other ability I have, like in my backup, that won't do it either, but it'll help you do it.
Yes, it'll help you do it. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Teaming up. It makes for necessary teamwork.
Right.
Which is also why
creativity breeds limitations.
Breeds limitations.
Yeah.
Oh,
like that saying, creativity breeds limitations. That's what I'm just.
That's a saying that will be a quote in our book coming out October 12th.
Right. It's a very original new saying. Nothing like the other saying that limitations breed creativity.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Very different.
Don't get them mixed up.
No.
Or I'll sue you.
Austin is a genius. So
I am, but I'll never admit it.
He's also very humble.
I am that as well, but again, I would never say so.
He would never say it himself. I have to. He actually paid me $150 to say that on the podcast.
Yeah, but then I paid him $300 to not say it.
Right. to prove just how humble he is.
Exactly.
And I couldn't help it.
And I just have that kind of money.
I'm gonna give him his $300 back because I really just couldn't stop myself. So anyway, third thing,
all right,
is how strong is monster, and like what kind of encounter do I want this to be?
Mm-hmm.
So do I want this to be easy, or do I want this to be, this is like the thing, this is deadly, this is like the big bada bing bada boom going on? Which, by the way, I've been using a website that I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. It has a nice little thing where you can put the level of each player character and how many player characters there are, and it'll automatically spit out a chart that tells you from easy to deadly what a certain number of challenge rating creatures would be.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like, if it's going to be if it's like 4 challenge, this is just a random example. Sorry, and probably not even true. Are you just making sure?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
He was just making sure that we were recording video. We are.
Yep.
It's good.
Only 50 minutes in. That would have been great.
That would have been awesome if we weren't the whole time.
Yeah.
That happened once, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Anyway, creature, or let's say there's a party of 3 player characters and they're all level 5.
Right.
That would be 1 challenge rating 5, probably, or like 3 challenge rating 1/2, or
no, all that stuff gets blasted for being super inaccurate.
Well, the challenge rating system in D&D in general isn't very good.
Yeah, I just think it's something to go off of.
Yes,
until you build up the intuition,
right?
Because you can either play test all your encounters, which is what I would do if I was making a professional supplement. I would play test that and like really balance it.
Right. Exactly. That's how I feel too.
But if you're DMing a game and making up stuff, you need to instead, you've got to like just have the intuition to know, because you don't have time for calculations all the time.
No.
You just have to, but the intuition does not, you can't just like go in winging it to begin with. You do have to like plan it out a little bit.
Right.
Basically, you plan like, how do I think this is going to go? And then you see how it goes. And every time you see the difference between how you think it's going to go and how it actually does, you adjust your behavior, and eventually you get it.
Right. And that has happened a lot with um it's like cooking. Like if you can see that you don't have enough heat going on yet, you don't just turn it up full blast immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't do that.
You turn it up a little bit more and see what happens,
exactly.
Right? Because I had to do that with Cataclysmic Rift, the campaign that we're doing right now.
Right.
Every encounter that said that it would be deadly based on D&D Beyond's calculations ended up being a cakewalk for you guys.
Right.
Like you didn't have trouble with any of them. So I just had to keep turning up the heat a little bit at a time until I found that balance where I think that if you guys had actually tried to fight this mummy lord, I'm pretty sure at least 2 of you would have died. You would have killed it, but I think 2 of you would have died in the process. Because he definitely had some attacks that could one-shot unconscious pretty much any of you.
Yeah, I wonder which of our characters. Probably not mine though. My character has a lot of hit points.
Yeah, Liam's
like at least 28
at level 6. Is your level 6 hit points?
Oh, you know what? I don't know what my level 6 hit points are actually.
Okay,
I haven't really gotten to check out that stuff yet. I'm trying to figure out which magical items I want him to be able to make now.
Right.
Because I get 2 more and they're upgraded. There's like a new set.
A new tier list.
Yeah. And additionally, there's the ability to just replicate any magic item, sort of. So
I think that, is there like a rarity cap or something, or what was it?
Yeah, there's a chart. There's like a list of which ones are eligible.
Got it. Oh, that's right. Okay. Note to a bunch of people from our game listen to this, so I'm hoping you'll hold me to it. Before we ended our last session, I said I feel like I'm forgetting something because I gave you guys the sending stone so that parties could communicate. We split the parties, by the way.
Yeah,
our group was I think just a little too big for scheduling purposes. Yep. It was just really hard to find a time where everybody could play.
And I had to play with the sorcerer, and that was not acceptable.
Well, and
so I can't wait to be in the group without what?
You are still in the group with the sorcerer.
Shoot! No! Oh, darn it!
I made a total mistake. But you're also in the group with the monk too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. Anyway,
wait, is a monk a type of sorcerer?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Are all monks sorcerers? And if so, does that mean that all sorcerers are monks? I'm confused with the logic here. Anyway, keep going. What'd you forget?
I almost forgot again. Yep. I need to give you guys one more bag of holding because I want both groups to have a bag of holding.
Oh yeah, and mine's full of scrolls right now still.
Yeah.
Did we give them to anybody?
You can.
We'll take care of it.
You can take care of it. You're not leaving.
I mean, I can always just turn it inside out and start a fire.
You could.
Although if I want to figure out how I might keep those scrolls, dude.
Hey, I didn't mean for this.
Don't mention them on the podcast. Because I'm just hoping everybody forgets about them like everything that's in my bag of holding. That bushel of fish came in handy.
Did it?
I had a bushel of fish in there for a while.
What did you use it for again?
I don't remember.
But I remember you using it.
Yeah, I sure did.
And I remember it did something.
Yeah.
Anyway, the bag of holding is, I think, maybe one of the items you can replicate.
Yep.
And so can the other artificer. So
I think we have the same table. So yeah.
So maybe you could just do that. Maybe one of you guys could just do that.
Yeah.
I think that'll be okay. Because I think I thought about how I was going to give you guys another one, and I didn't come up with a reason that made any sense other than you just going and buying one. You could also just go and buy one.
Yeah.
I could make it available. That's pretty easy too. I don't know, up to you, but I think it's a good idea if you get another one. Okay. Anyway, I also just realized though that this totally worked out completely on accident, but the artificers are split up, which is kind of nice. But also the main healers are split up too, which is nice as well.
Right.
So it's not like one group has two healers and...
Wait, is Carly's character a healer?
Yeah. So Carly's character and Paul's character both are subclasses that are basically the like, you could have played a cleric, but you're playing this instead. Subclass.
I think my character is one of the stronger healers in the group too, though.
Yes, the artificers can also heal, so it's very...
Plus, I've got the temporary hit point dealio.
Right.
With my cannon.
So anyway, the healing is very well split up.
Yeah,
I think, because Paul's character is the warlock, cleric dude, and Carly's character is the sorcerer cleric dude, lady, dude. Oh, nope. I was going to say something, then I realized I was wrong, so I'm not going to say it. Hey, homebrew?
Yeah, let's get one.
Do we want to roll on the ring table again?
We got time for one.
I'll give you the honors. You got one. Aha. 83? That's what you're going with?
No, sorry, 84. That was the first one that came out.
Okay, 84. Did we get 84 before? I don't think so. This is Ring of the Legion. What does it do? Ring of the Legion.
Yeah, what is the American Legion? What is that? Is that just like a club? Like one of those clubs where you just join it because it costs money and you join it?
That's what all clubs are.
What?
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like there are some clubs where like you join it to do an activity.
Oh, like drink beer.
No, I mean clubs like you can have a martial arts club.
Oh.
But you pay money to be in it, but you're in it to do an activity. Or like a painter's club, if that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing.
No, maybe it gets muddled. All the clubs that I know are just you pay money to be in the club.
Yeah.
So that you can sit around and drink beer.
There are definitely activity clubs as well.
Or other alcohol.
Yeah, it doesn't matter right now.
Usually alcohol.
What's this ring do?
Requires attunement. Everyone who wears this ring gains +1 to all of their ability attributes. However, this ring has a history that can be obtained. I'm not sure that this is worded correctly. With a DC 15 history check, it's a standard issue ring amongst the Iron Legion, a group of human...
Ascertained. They meant ascertained.
Yes. Human supremacists that engaged in various attacks on non-human settlements in the past century. But they eventually disbanded. Most people who see this ring will automatically have their opinions soured of you. Depending on your power, they will either not serve you, have you kicked out, etc. A very small group of people that you may encounter will approve and grant you access to more opportunities. Interesting. So you wear the ring and it's like, oh, this is the Adonalseum, by the way. You got to say that every time. User the Adonalseum from Reddit. Okay. That's interesting. It like gives you this cool power, but it has social consequences.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we have a feat that Liam might want to pick up.
Ooh, what is it?
It's called the Insomniac.
Oh. Yeah.
You gain the following benefits from sleepless nights. Increase your intelligence score by 1.
Heck yeah.
To a maximum of 20. So it wouldn't actually help you.
No.
During a long rest, you can spend up to 4 hours performing light activities such as reading, talking, eating, or standing watch. Up to 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's normal. Most people can do that. Most people can stand while you can.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Up to 4 hours.
No, it's 2 hours normally. You need 6 hours for the rest to take place. So he gets an extra 2 hours.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
And then his sleep schedule matches my college sleep schedule almost.
There we go. And then this is you're gonna want this because of the last one. While suffering from exhaustion, you treat it as if it was one level less.
Yeah, I need that.
So level 1 exhaustion does nothing.
So can I not die of exhaustion?
Yeah, because level 6 would
is
just death.
And then
normally
there's no level 7. So
yeah, you get to level 6 and then
if I can take this feat, I will.
You're just incapacitated.
Yeah.
but you can't die.
Yep. He can work so hard he can incapacitate himself, but he will not stop. Oh, that's some character building. That's some development. Oh man, that's I like that one.
Yeah.
Save that.
It is saved. I have all of these saved.
But now I wish I only gave him 19 intelligence because I would just do that every night.
Yeah, well, a lot of feet. You know what I realized?
But I guess without a long rest, it might reset. I don't know.
Something that not to say that Matt Mercer is the god of all D&D things, but one thing that he does at the beginning of every campaign that I like, that I didn't do and kind of feel like would have been a nice thing, is he gives everybody a feat at the beginning.
Oh, cool.
Which is normally just something that humans get, or like certain humans get. But he does it for everybody. He's like, everybody gets a feat. And if you have the thing that gives you a feat, take 2.
Right.
Everybody gets an extra feat right at the beginning. That's cool. I like that.
I think it would be super cool if if the first feat that they take, like for that, the free feat has to be homebrewed.
Ooh.
It has to, like, you can find it online somewhere. That's fine. But it can't be one of the official feats. You got to bring something else to the table in a very literal sense.
Yep. Right to the table.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
You'll have to work with the DM to balance it.
You're right. The DM, it's ultimately up to the DM to decide what to include in their game.
Yeah. I did take a feat at level 1, actually.
Yeah.
That was the firearms proficiency.
You were because
I didn't realize in fact, at that point, it wasn't considered an optional DM thing in D&D Beyond. It was just like, all right, that's one of your things. You can pick it. And I was like, that makes sense. I'll take it.
Well, it's because of that's because of the race you picked. Because you're human variant.
Yeah.
You get a feat.
Right, exactly. But I picked it because it made sense with my class and stuff.
Yes.
Yes. But also that feat only happened to be available because it was in like beta test at that time.
Oh, I see.
And now it's considered optional. Like the DM can say, like in the official rules, that feat is allowed by the DM. I don't know. This is all crazy to me. But it's considered optional.
Right.
And it's up to the DM's discretion.
I think that anything involving firearms, it basically
depends on setting.
Right. The DM's guide and the rules for all firearms has a thing underneath it that says, talk with your DM to see if firearms are part of your campaign setting, which it is. Part of mine. But just barely. It's like a new thing.
So you see what I do with them. Or if this character dies, the next one's going to be even crazier. Here we go.
Oh boy, can't wait.
Oh, no, wait. I can't decide who I want to play next.
Well, are you going to do the same concept where you take a person from real life and...
No, I have some other characters made.
Other characters. Okay.
Yeah, I have. Although I think I will do that again in the future because it's kind of fun.
Is it? Okay. I'm glad you're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if you're having fun doing that. I almost said the name of the person again. Okay. Anyway.
I don't even know what his name is now.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? All right. That's all.
Bye-bye.
That's all, folks.
Did it.